Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Brian Engelman. This is The New American Media, and the show is The Unhappy Hour. It's a sports show. It's a support group. We got a lot to talk about today. We got four different areas that we specialize in: Browns, Cavs, Buckeyes, and Indians news to cover. So we're going to get to all of that. We're bringing back special guest Zak Baris. He's been doing this show with us for years. He's our NBA guy, but it's more than just NBA. It's all sports in general, which is why he's so valuable to the team, like a middle infielder or a middle relief pitcher on the baseball team. You can use them in so many different ways. But we got him back in the program. Zak, let's start with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are historically terrible right now, and I think we have to ride this out and embrace the pain while we hit a reboot on the franchise. What do you think? Do you think we have the right people in place to turn this around, or have you lost faith in the coaching staff and the front office as well?
Well, let's just run through this real quickly. So, judging by it now, Carson Wentz is the front runner to win the MVP this season. So, obviously, you missed there. Number two, the number 4 MVP candidate this season is Deshaun Watson. Well, you clearly blew that one because you could have had him and Myles Garrett. So, let's just go to this. The Browns don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Let's get into it next year. Sam Darnold is struggling mightily this year. They just got their asses kicked against Notre Dame, excuse my language, but I'm just going to say it like they did. They lost 49-14. He's had a lot of turnovers this season. It sounds like he's staying in school for another year, so where does that leave the Browns? With Josh Rosen, who's having a disappointing season, with Josh Allen from Wyoming, who's having a disappointing season, or with Lamar Jackson, who's not putting up a Heisman-type season again this season. So where does it leave the Browns? They are just a cluster of an organization right now. It's a complete cluster, and you know what I was going to say after it.
Yeah.
It starts with an F, and it rhymes with truck. They are just a mess. Myles Garrett looks great. The defense looks pretty good. They've had some good pickups like Brian Body Calhoun and stuff. And obviously, Jamar Taylor played well yesterday. McCourty's been good this season. However, the Browns lack any sort of depth anywhere on the roster. They don't know how to evaluate any of the skill positions. Look at their wide receivers. I can't even name you half the guys catching balls out there. I used to be able to name the entire 53-man roster.
Yeah, but you can say for sure that we paid 4 years of a contract to a guy that looks like he shouldn't even be in the NFL.
Think about the talent you've let walk at wide receiver now over the last few years. Terrell Pryor, where's he at? Washington. He's not having a great season, but he was fantastic last year. Okay, gone. Where's Travis Benjamin? I believe he had a punt return for a touchdown yesterday, and he had a receiving touchdown as well. He's a pretty damn good receiver, doing well out in San Diego. Taylor Gabriel speaks for himself down in Atlanta. One of the main reasons they got to the Super Bowl last year. Josh Gordon, I'll give him a pass on because that's 3 regimes now. He hasn't been able to control himself. So you cannot fault the front office for having Josh Gordon as a mistake. Oh yeah, and you cut Willie Snead a couple of years back as well. So I really don't know where to take it from here with this team. They are just they do not know how to evaluate talent. It seems like we've got $118 million in cap room coming this offseason. If Washington applies the transition tag to Kirk Cousins, you might as well just throw $45 million at him in the first year of the deal. At this point.
And just try to get somebody on the open market instead of developing a young quarterback.
Wouldn't allow anyone to match the deal. If you can throw in that upfront money and you have that much cap space, you can go out and you can structure a deal so Washington it'd be impossible to match it.
All right. Yeah, and we've been on the other side of that before, having players taken away.
It happened with Alex Mack.
Yeah, with the Falcons. Yeah, that was a little weird.
Structured a deal. The Browns re-signed him. It was very creative, but it only kept him in Cleveland for another 2 years. So it was a very creative deal that they did. The Browns failed to franchise him, and it is what it is. And, they let guys like Mitchell Schwartz walk. This organization just does not know how to evaluate talent. It's time you have to get in a football guy here. You can't afford to screw this up again with this much cap space. And with 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, and you're really going to have 6 in the first 64. Or 65 because the Browns will be picking first. You cannot afford to screw this up again.
Well, so do you sink or swim with the people that got us here with these decisions, or do we blow it up and start from scratch? I mean, they are at least bottoming our team out.
You have to bring in a football guy who knows what he's doing.
Peyton Manning.
This is just, if it's Peyton Manning, but it's going to take a lot to get Peyton. It's not going to take $5 million a year. You're going to have to give him, equity in this team, and that's what it's going to require to do it.
Maybe. I don't know. You got to see where Peyton's desire is, because he's so successful. He's doing all the commercials and still doing projects. If he has the desire to do it, that's what it's going to come down to. You can't convince him.
It's going to come down to money as well, though. But here's the thing: the Browns want to offer him equity in the team, like they did with Carmen Policy in 1999, before Butch Davis drove him out. In 2002 when Butch took over evaluating this football team with Pete Garcia. That's exactly what you get. Policy did a damn good job here when you think about it. He had this team in the playoffs in their 4th year in the league, which is pretty impressive, considering they were an expansion team. And, he had them their 3rd year in the league. They were very close. They had 5 losses in the last 2 minutes of games there. That team usually won 10 to 12 games back in 2001. Their 3rd year in the league. They were building up what was a good team, and then Butch Davis brought in Pete Garcia, and that was the end-all of the Carmen Policy era.
And so here we are now with the analytics guys, the baseball guys, running the football front office. And, DeShone Kizer, I'm just trying to figure out what – you bench him after a half, you give Hogan an entire game.
Here's the thing, Brian, it doesn't even matter. The future quarterback's not on this roster anyway.
So we went from having hope in DeShone Kizer at the beginning of the year to being ready to throw the towel in.
He turns the ball over every time they get near the red zone. It is just horrendous. It's like I go in there watching him. I pick whoever, I've gotten to the point in fantasy football now where I pick whoever starts against the Browns, whatever defense starts against the Browns, because I know I'm going to be getting 3 interceptions and 7 sacks out of it.
I know. It's ridiculous. And you're right. I picked up Deshaun Watson in one of my leagues, and man, he is salvaging a pretty disastrous situation for me in one of my leagues. He's crushing it. That's the guy that we gave up. And let's talk about...
I got him on my fantasy team. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm starting anybody who goes against the Browns defense for the most part as well. I picked up guys like, matchups. I pick up the tight end who goes against the Browns every week. It's getting to a point, and I'm winning my league every week. I win my matchup every week since I've been doing this. In situational Browns football matchups. And I'm not even joking on this one. I picked up Austin Seferian-Jenkins against the Browns. He put up 12 points.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just funny when you think of it. This team is just, I've never seen such poor talent evaluation. Everything about this team is just terrible. The uniforms. This is the lowest attendance they've had since the year Modell announced the move in '95. They're averaging 63,500 a game. This is pathetic. I chose not to go to the game yesterday. I did not want to go. I'd rather sit on my couch and take a nap and fall in and out of sleep watching the game than I would going to a football game on a 77-degree day. Which is pathetic.
Take a knee, take a nap. You got people boycotting the NFL because Kaepernick hasn't been signed. You got people boycotting the NFL because people are kneeling during the national anthem. And you got Cleveland Browns fans that are kneeling or that are boycotting the league just because the team is pathetic. It's a perfect storm for the NFL right now.
I agree. But let's not forget, Colin Kaepernick got benched for Blaine Gabbert in San Francisco. That's how bad he was. He might put up statistics that show he's got a 90 quarterback rating, and he throws more touchdowns than interceptions. But as we all know, quarterback rating does not mean shit in the NFL anymore. He just isn't. He isn't a good player. It's that simple. It's like Joe Thomas put it. He's not worth the headache that he brings to your football team, the attention that he brings. It's not worth it. He's not that good. It's not like he's sitting there as a Pro Bowler. It'd be different if he's putting up, these Joe Montana or Tom Brady, or if he was Colin Kaepernick when they made the Super Bowl. It's a different Colin Kaepernick now. He hasn't been the same in the last 4 years.
Right. Yeah, and it's just...
It was like the Browns signing RG3. Oh, you don't see anyone pitching that RG3's out of the league because he sucks.
Exactly.
He hasn't been good since 2012, RG3. Nobody's sitting there bitching that he's out of the league. He just isn't any good. He can't play anymore. And Colin Kaepernick's not any good either.
Well,
it's that simple. I don't want to hear, he's got a 90 quarterback rating. It doesn't mean anything.
Well,
Cody Kessler last year had a rating in the 90s. And he went 0-8 as the starter. It means nothing.
Well, you're right. It is not good news for the Browns with low attendance numbers and complete lack of faith in the direction of where this team's going. The one thing they've done is accumulate assets and bottom out on guaranteed contracts. But
it doesn't even matter if you can't evaluate talent. The assets don't even make a difference. It's Brian, think about it. Think about you're playing the stock market, and you have $1 million to spend versus Joe Schmo who has $20,000 in capital to spend. Well, Joe Schmo goes and picks good stocks to invest in, turns his $20,000 into $1 million. You invest your $1 million, and it's now down to $20,000. It's exactly like that. It's like playing the stock market. It's you're evaluating talent. It's not an easy thing to do, evaluating talent. Trust me. I've been on your show for 7 years now, or six years I've been on the show. 6.5 years I've been on the show. And I can tell you that, very, very rarely, when I'm sitting there evaluating a prospect, when I'm told that I don't like a prospect, I make sure I go through it and tell you why I don't like the prospect. It was like, be honest with you. When Giannis, when the Greek Freak came to the NBA Combine back in, I think it was 2012 or 2000, yeah, it was 2012, or 2013 even, I think it was. I don't even remember. I'm just, my head's, I think it was 2013. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I just haven't seen enough film on him. I know nothing about the kid. And I was honest about it. I said, I know nothing about him. I haven't seen him play. I've seen grainy footage of him on film. He was a hell of an athlete, but I had just not seen any film on him. There was nothing to see. So I didn't know anything about him. And that's why I would never give my take. I would never write off a player if I haven't seen film on him. I don't write someone off. I write someone off after I see them and I don't think they're any good.
Right.
I've seen that with plenty of basketball players. I look at a guy when the Cavaliers have gotten a guy and they go, like I said it with Dion Waiters. I was very, very adamant when the Cavaliers, were selecting Dion Waiters, and I said, this is a move that will cripple the franchise. He is not a franchise player. It's fairly obvious to see when you have poor talent evaluation, you take him over a guy like Harrison Barnes or Andre Drummond. It ruins your franchise. If you don't know how to properly draft someone, and evaluate talent, it doesn't matter. Look at a team like Milwaukee that's had a lot of success, getting guys late like Thon Maker, taking guys who don't have a lot of film, taking Giannis, guys like Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Middleton even. That's why Milwaukee is a successful team, and they're going to be a powerhouse in the East sometime in the next 2 to 3 years. And if they get Eric Bledsoe, watch out for them. They will be the second best team in the East.
Hold on. You think Bledsoe? Wait, hold on. Let's press pause on Bledsoe. I want to get back to another Joe. We were talking about Joe Schmo or Joe Public or somebody else.
Joe Thomas.
I want to talk about Joe Thomas now. They're asking him, are you going to play again? And he's not even sure.
I really am sad for Joe. If anyone ever deserves to go to the playoffs, it's Joe Thomas. And it's not that I ever want to see the Browns trade him, because I love Joe. He's, one of my favorite Browns of all time. However, I just want the guy to win a Super Bowl. I want him to go to the playoffs. I don't even care if he goes to Pittsburgh. This one, I'm just happy for Joe Hayden, to tell you the truth. I was happy watching a Pittsburgh Steelers player have an interception yesterday.
Wow.
That's how pathetic it is now. I'm happy because I like Joe Hayden. Joe was always a good guy for Cleveland. He was great for the community, stood up for the community, means a lot to the community still. He was back at the Cavs home opener last week. That's something that means something to me. He's always showed the Cleveland pride. The Browns made a mistake in cutting him, and for what reason did they cut him? Like I said earlier, I understand why the Browns cut him, because they're not going anywhere this season. They want to evaluate younger talent. But it is rare to come across, talent in this Browns organization. Every time they do, they manage to screw it up.
Yeah, I know. I just wonder if Joe Thomas is going to retire. There have been hints about it. He's been a consummate professional for a long time. Had his first injury. Maybe he plays every snap, has one injury, and says, I'm done. Who knows? He's openly talked about concussions. He's made tons of money. He's a humble dude.
He's a guy I would look to help run this front office.
Yes. Hire Joe Thomas movement. What role should he have in the organization?
I can't tell you. That's up for the Browns to decide. But when you have, not all former football players make great talent evaluators. We've witnessed that.
Yeah.
In every sport, we've witnessed baseball players not being able to evaluate talent. We've witnessed former football players. We've witnessed it at all different levels. However, Joe's one of those guys who understands the losing better than anyone. He's been with this organization for such a long time. And not even been close to a winner. I mean, the guy's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer on arguably the worst stretch of a 10-year career for any player of all time. He's lost more games than, I can guarantee you, I don't even have to look this up. He's lost more games than any other player in a 10-year stretch. Look that up. I don't even know where to find that on a lot of sports bureau, but I can guarantee you he has lost more than any player in the league over the past 10 seasons. It's not even close.
At least he made a lot of money. At least he was well compensated for all the losses.
Yeah, but he could have been well compensated in another city and didn't have to resign here. I just like I said, I feel that I don't fault any player who leaves the Browns nowadays. I don't. They're a mess. They don't keep track of their players. Well, people are like, oh, Deshaun Kaiser was out partying at a local bar at 1 in the morning on Friday night. Well, you know what? It's not. I'm not even going to sit there and blame Deshaun. He has the right to go out. He's not under curfew on Friday night. If the Browns don't want him out, say something and put him on a curfew. It's that simple. It's that simple. I mean, if you don't want him out, do what the Cowboys did with Dez Bryant and keep him under control. If that's what worries you and that's the problem. And don't pretend like the Browns don't know about it either. The Browns know where all their players are at all times because they're at the most popular bars in Cleveland. With 6 or 7 of 8 of those guys out at a time. They're never alone. They're all out with each other, and the Browns know where they are. They just don't care. Again, this is an organization a few years ago when Johnny Manziel and Josh Gordon were suspended for the team flight, and didn't go to Baltimore after they were already, after Johnny was already injured. Johnny puked up at the vault. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Puked on the bar at the vault at 2 in the morning and didn't make the flight the next day. Was anybody shocked that Johnny didn't make the flight the next day? No. The Browns need to hold their players accountable. They don't. Why is Kenny Britt even still on this roster? They're a mess.
How did he get on the roster in the first place? Yeah, I don't know. Kudos to Joe Thomas, the Iron Man streak that may never be beaten. Congratulations on that. I wish the rest of our team had that toughness, and yes, to add him into the front office, I think would be a fantastic move for the organization in some capacity. And who knows? He might come back and play for a really long time. I mean, we're writing him off just because he's got to have a season-ending surgery, but who knows? I'm just putting it out there. It might not be the worst idea. Let's do this, Zach. Let's kind of press pause on the Cleveland Browns here. We're on the Unhappy Hour talking with Zak Baris. You can find him on Twitter. He's at ZBaris. That's ZBaris. And we will hit reset and do another segment. We're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about the NBA and the Cavs specifically. Here we go.